The Book of Boba Fett. Now, this show is kind of boring. Not gonna lie. Well, the first 4 episodes, at least, are boring. But the last 3 episodes are pretty good. I mean, I think something that's kind of worth noting is that the show kind of forgets its identity midway through and kind of just becomes The Mandalorian Season 2.5, which is kind of weird. I knew this was going to happen, but I kind of didn't expect how jarring it would be because the story that was built up to that point, to episode 5, it just goes away for 2 episodes. And he just becomes Mandalorian Season 2.5. Then the finale, it does kind of become Boba Fett's story again, but you kind of forget everything that kind of happened, or it's not really that relevant anymore, so it kind of just feels weird. And that does affect the ranking, it does, because it's weird. Now, I don't hate the last 3 episodes, but if episode 5 and episode 6 were just first 2 episodes of season 3, that'll be fine. But because they put it in a spin-off show, you literally have to watch this show in order to continue The Mandalorian. That's kind of weird. I don't mind Mandalorian being in Book of Boba Fett, but there's so much story that is connected to it that you have to watch it in order to continue. And it will become more apparent when Season 3 rolls around, because you're like, oh, why are they back together if in the Season 2 finale they split up, Mando and Grogu? But that's just what it is. They want to make it the MCU. But what about the other 4 episodes? Because so far I've only been talking about the last 3 episodes, or kind of the obvious thing that this show did. Well, the first 4 episodes are boring. No, they're not. Now, it's different from the season 1 of The Mandalorian, because in that review, I said that the show is slow-paced. There's a difference. Because it's slow-paced doesn't mean that it's boring. It's just the way the episode's forms are just slower pace. That's not the case with the Book of Boba Fett. The first 4 episodes are just boring. The stuff that happens in these episodes are so minuscule, and it feels like honestly I'm reading a comic book. Because I know there are Star Wars comic books, and it feels like I'm reading one of those. I mean, I don't own any comic books because they all seem very minuscule, not really important to the grandiose story. And that's what it feels like for the first 4 episodes. Just really grandiose stories. I mean, I would have preferred just Boba Fett with the Tuskens, honestly, for the first 2 episodes maybe. If remove the 5th and 6th episode, make it Boba Fett's story, not just insert Mandalorian stuff in there. Okay, it just turns into The Mandalorian Season 2.5. It's really apparent. It is. It's holy crap, you can't just do that to Boba Fett like that. Where is he? You can't just do that. He's on the show, really, after episode 4. I feel like that's kind of a disappointment with the show. You think there's gonna be some great story with about the syndicates and all this type of stuff, but it's just a mishmash of different stuff that I guess the show wants to do because it only has 7 episodes and it's not gonna get a season 2. It's just this is a show. It's supposed to be a movie, but Lucasfilm said no, and it just turned into a show, so they have to do all this stuff within the show, and it just feels kind of just mishmash. And it doesn't help that 2 of the 7 episodes don't really have Boba Fett in it. It doesn't really contain anything about it's a story of Boba Fett that was set up, but it just feels like a mishmash. And you have the Jabba twins, you have this biker gang, these syndicates on Tatooine, you have the Pikes, and it's the Pikes are the big ones, but it's maybe set them up more, but instead you have all this other stuff that just kind of floats around in the show, and it's you have this mayor, and it's just, oh my god, it's just, I can't even describe what the show really is, because it doesn't really have an identity. It's just a continuation of the show. It's just a syndicate show. It's like a mafia show, but it doesn't really feel like a mafia. And I feel like it does hurt his character, Boba Fett's character, because he is not what you would expect Like, I don't know what happened, because the same people are working on the show than, like, with The Mandalorian Season 2. Both people worked on the same show, so, I mean, what went wrong? What went wrong? Because Jon Favreau wrote, like, all these episodes. How is the characterization just worse for Boba Fett than he was in Season 2? I don't get it. I don't get why he is just this weak man, whereas in Season 2 he's able to just do all this awesome stuff. I don't get it. I think plot armor, but you gotta make a show that's fit for the character, that makes sense for the universe. You can't just have, he can't do this stuff anymore. Bullcrap. You literally see him heal for 4 episodes. You want to see him do some action, but I get it. It's live action. You can't do all the fancy stuff like you can in animation. I get it. But it kind of hurts that there's only 7 episodes, and 2 of them are focused on other characters. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when you do it twice, that's kind of a problem. I'm not saying those episodes are bad. Just put it with Mandalorian Season 3. It seems like they forgot what show they were putting it in, but I know that was done intentionally. They did this purposefully, and it kind of hurts the show. And also doesn't help that the first 4 episodes are boring and uneventful, really. Like, honestly, they are kind of uneventful, except for a couple things. But like I said, it's just a mishmash of stuff, and it's just so bizarre that this show kind of came into existence the way it did. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not bad. It's not a bad show. It's fun. I had fun with all the episodes, but it's just a mishmash, and it is a lot of boring parts. And I almost fell asleep watching it. Well, the first 4 episodes. Last year it wasn't, but there were some parts where I kind of just wanted to go to sleep because there was nothing going on. And I don't think the runtime for these episodes really should have been 40 to 50 minutes. They should have been more like 20 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes, because there just nothing happens in them, really. It's just so uneventful, because I feel like this was supposed to be a movie. They just split all the main key parts that this Boba Fett film would have had, and just split into 7 episodes. I guess they did. I guess I ran out of stuff, so they just inserted 2 episodes of The Mandalorian in there to kind of fill out the runtime of the show, and that's where we're at. So that all being said, if you can tell by my attitude, how would I rank the Book of Boba Fett? So the Book of Boba Fett will go above Rogue One, but below Season 2 of the Clone Wars. Now, I was going to put it up, like, maybe above Season 2 or maybe below Rogue One, but I said, you know what, this is a good place. I had fun with it, but it's a boring show for the majority of it. The last 3 episodes, and especially the finale, are good. The finale was actually really good. But that doesn't help the rest of the show because of how disjointed it is. They tried doing too much with it. It's just a mishmash of a bunch of stuff, a bunch of ideas that I guess they wanted to do, but they just put it all in. So that's why it's 14. So it's a good show, but it is kind of boring and it's just a mishmash of stuff. So that's why it's there. Do you agree or disagree with my ranking? I know some people really like this show, some people hate it. They don't like how Boba Fett was characterized. I get it, I understand, I watch the show. So I know how people feel about this. And yeah, that's where I ranked it. Like I said, do you agree, disagree? Comment down below. I'm gonna go now, so goodbye everyone.